What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with a new musical journey, which is to say, we're going to start going through an album from Liza Minnelli, 1989, Results. And the reason we're going to do this, or rather the reason it was brought to me in the first place, about a month or two ago, as I was getting close to finishing the proper version of the album Pet Shop Boys Introspective, shout out to Seb, major friend and champion of the channel, major friend and champion of the channel, Mark, reached out and said that before they put out Behavior, their own album in 1990, Pet Shop Boys, they produced a Liza Minnelli album called Results. So Liza Minnelli, you know, it's a name like Joni Mitchell and some of these others where I know the name, I've heard the name, I'm aware on some level of their reputation, but I don't think I've ever heard any of her music. So I'm keen to hear her music, but also I'm excited to hear an album produced by Pet Shop Boys, but for someone else's musical project. I'm intrigued by what this will sound like. Now again, I know that they've worked with electronic during the early 90s on a couple of tracks, and indeed another one of those I'm about to react to, so looking forward to that. But yeah, bottom line, I'm going to do this in tandem with Behavior, so I'm going to do one reaction for Liza Minnelli's Results album and one from Pet Shop Boys' Behavior, hopefully like each time in the same reaction session. So that's the plan. Once again, shout out to Mark and Seb and all the people who've been following the Pet Shop Boys journey, and all people who may be here for the first time because of Liza Minnelli. Again, I was born in 1980, so I grew up as a single-digit kid in the 80s, teenager in the 90s. I'm in my early 40s now, so again, it's a name that I've known for multiple decades, but I just never went down that avenue. So looking forward to hearing this, and obviously I'll be on the lookout for sonics that to me will resonate with the Pet Shop Boys material I've heard up until this point. And again, shout out to Chris for his production, shout out to Neil for his involvement. I do remember people saying that when it comes to PSB, generally speaking, like they're both writing on every track, even if the song may come from one more than the other in terms of themes. Nevertheless, I am very curious to hear what it sounds like when they produce someone else's work, so let's get to it. This is Liza Minnelli. The first tune on her Results album is called I Want You Now. Again, for anyone new here, I usually just think about the title of a song I haven't heard before just for a minute or two, just in terms of thinking about what the themes may be. This one's pretty straightforward, whether we're talking on an emotional level or even more physically and viscerally. It speaks to an intense passion and a desire for another person. Again, that can play out on multiple levels, not only like distinctly, but even concurrently. But yeah, it speaks to unbridled or brimming at the surface level of passion and a desire to connect with another, whether again we're talking psycho-emotionally and more conceptually, or more immediately and viscerally. So let's find out what it is. Liza Minnelli, I Want You Now, the first track on her 1989 album Results, produced by the Pet Shop Boys. Oh. The synth bass is like, it's like an old friend. Orchestral class. Like a haunting
when the sun goes down, I open up my window for hours and every passing stranger, every early shadow, I wonder if it's you.
bit of a cinematic feel.
I want you now, and I'm prepared to take chances. I've told you how. I won't take no for an answer. Every empty
Her delivery just now was like very musical theater.
sit downstairs, drinking till late night. Shouts and rockets now. You sat there once beside me, where the actors played. You kissed me in the morning.
Where the actors play? Is that what she said?
When you left, you promised you'd soon be back to stay, and it would be right. Now I'm abandoned my letters and wanted to let you back in my life.
There's more history than I was thinking in advance.
And I'm prepared to take chances. I've told you how. I won't take no for an answer. I want you now. And I'm prepared to take chances. I've told you how. I won't take no for an answer.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's an ending. Amazing. So it's interesting. Like, it's hard to know, but it's funny. Like, because as I'm listening, it's like, oh, that groovy, dynamic synth bass line, the like percussive like rolls with the different drum elements and so on. Some of those like chords on the keyboards, the like sweeping, like epic feeling of it. It's all like as I'm listening, it's like like of course this is a Pet Shop Boys produced tune, but it's funny because like I knew that going into it, so I can't say for sure, but I feel like if I had heard that like on some level, I might have said something like, "Ooh, this kind of reminds me of a Pet Shop Boys tune." So again, like I don't think I would have like concluded, oh, they must have been involved in this, but I'd like to think after having gone through a few of their albums now, that I would have recognized on some level enough sonics to say this reminds me of PSP. So once again, big shout out to Mark. Excited to go through the rest of this. She has a crazy voice. Like she was singing in like two idioms. One a bit more like a forlorn pop song type of idiom, and then another like this imposing stage presence, sort of, dramatic musical theater type of delivery for the chorus, or I think that was the chorus. Yeah, so it was interesting to hear sort of two flavors of a singer on the first tune that I've heard by them, or at least knowingly. Now, again, it's a name that I've heard for long enough that it could be possible as we go through the album that there might be a track where it's like, oh, wait a minute, did I hear this on the radio? Again, I'm in my 5th decade of life, so there's ample opportunity that I may have heard some of these things, and indeed there's some different deep dives where going into it, a tune's name didn't mean anything to me, didn't recognize it, and then it starts and it's like, oh, wait a minute, and then a chorus will come in or something, it's, oh, wait, I definitely heard this. So again, that may happen, but on like prima facie, without thinking or without looking in any more detail, yeah, I don't think I've heard anything on this, so excited to go through it. Again, I'm going to do this in tandem with the Behavior album, just so we keep the like formal PSP reactions rolling. So again, shout out to Seb. And yeah, let me know what you think of this. Excited to go through the rest of the album. I will see you next time. Peace.